Alright, welcome back to the channel. Today what I'm going to be talking about is something that actually perplexed me for several years, and still today I really haven't figured it out, because it continues to be one of those things that remains the same, and that is, you have people in the gym all the time, and they want to have certain body types. They want to have a certain body, you know. And these are the muscles that I've noticed that people want, but nobody really want to do what it takes to have and develop these particular muscles. And one of them are legs, and we're going to include the calves with this, because you know the legs and the calves is something that a lot of people would like to have these days. Back in the days, legs was like a second thought. You know, upper body was king back in the days, but these days, you know, legs have become very important when it comes down to the aesthetics of a body. And I'm not necessarily talking about just bodybuilding in general. I'm talking about, you know, people in general, you know, from people from basic conditioning to the bodybuilding. You know, bodybuilding, you know, legs are mandatory. Legs and calves, you know, that's mandatory. You gotta have those. It's not like it was back then, you know, where they kind of skipped out on the legs a little bit. But the thing about it is, I'm gonna give you the 3 muscles that most people want these days, but nobody is willing to do what it takes to get those muscles. And they hold these 3 things in high priority, but nobody want to do what it takes to get them. And we're going to start with the most neglected and also the most sought after thing, but nobody's going to do what it takes to get them. And that's the legs. And you know, many people want to have legs. They want to have decent looking legs. They want to have nice looking legs and stuff like that, but nobody want to really do what it takes to develop those legs. And it's been like that forever. That's one thing I just don't understand, but it's been like that forever. Nobody want to really do what it takes to get the legs, and even worse, the second body part. And I know I was going to, you know, I was putting the legs and the calves together, but we talking about the top 3, because I have seen guys with decent legs, believe it or not, and weak calves. I mean, go figure. You spend all that time on your thighs and don't have calves to even come close to matching them. That was crazy. And this particular guy he had a good upper body, legs, and the only weak part on his body was his calf. Go figure, you know. So in this 3 main muscle group, I'm gonna have to put the calves off in their own category. But we got the legs, the thigh muscles, the quadriceps, the hamstrings. You know, that's one thing that most people, they want them, but they don't want to do what it takes to get them. You know, they kind of halfway do the exercises for that particular body part. And then the next thing will be the calves. The calves, you know, everybody want to have calves, and they don't want to have weak calves, you know, and most of them cover them up with long pants so that you can't see the calves, because they're embarrassed about what their calves look like, and they want them, but they don't want to do what it takes to develop the calves. And it's like I said, it's been that way since the beginning of time. You know, most of the ones back in the days, a lot of them who had calves were genetically blessed with them. A lot of the ones back then. I mean, we're talking about the average person. If they had calves, the average person had calves, 9 times out of 10 it's just something that they had. You know, they didn't necessarily really work them to get them like that. And if they had legs, they just naturally had big legs. That's just the way it was. But in the bodybuilding realm, you know, again, legs was, you know, not a high priority It was something that they kind of brushed through, and that's why so many of them had weak legs and weak calves, because they wasn't concerned about it. They was concerned about the upper body. But like I said, calves being the second muscle, and the third muscle that pretty much most people want is abs. They want, you know, they hold these abs in high priority, and they can, you know, and the thing about it is, you know, all of them want them. All of them want, you know, totally defined abs, and they want to walk around like that. But nobody is willing to die to get that. They don't want to. They don't want to die. They don't want to do no kind of diet to get those abs, and no matter what. And they hold that stuff into high esteem, you know, meaning it's like a mandate. You know, as far as aesthetics is concerned, you got to have abs, you know, in order for people to even consider you to be in shape. Really, most of them, you know, hold the abs to that high of a level, which the mere fact that you got visible abs doesn't indicate that you in shape. It just indicates that you have a low percentage of body fat. That's it. And that's another misnomer, you know, when it comes down to abs. But if the abs are not showing, a lot of people consider that, well, he's not totally in shape yet. And abs, the visible sign of abs is not an indicator of an individual being in shape, you know. And I know some of y'all gonna say, no, if you got abs, no, you can have abs and not be in shape. I mean, all you do is, you know, control your diet. Control your diet, you'll get abs. Everybody, like I told you before, everybody got abs. Everybody do. It's just getting rid of the layer of fat that's on top. That's it. You got abs, because everybody have them. Now, with that being said, you'll have the abs showing, but they won't necessarily be as totally defined as you would want them to be. But you will have abs. I mean, and they'll show up pretty good. You know, so that's the reality of it right there. Now, those are the three muscles that a lot of people want, but nobody's willing to do what it takes to get those three muscles. And it's like with anything else. If you want something, you got to work toward it. You got to work toward it. If you want decent looking calves, you want to be able to wear short pants, you want to be able to wear short pants, you got to develop your calves, or you just going to have, you know, a small calf. And there's no other way around it. If you want decent legs, you got to work them. It's just that simple. You want abs that shows, that's visibly show, you know, not necessarily, you don't really have to work them, but you have to have your diet in par in order to have those things. You know, so there's no way around it. You got to work for what you want, you know, in the field of fitness and exercise. And you can make your body, no matter what your genetic potential is, you can make your body look better than what it is today, and get yourself in a better condition than you are today by applying yourself and applying your energies toward those things that you would really want. If you don't have necessarily a concern for legs and calves and abs, then, you know, everybody got their own thing that they want to do in this weightlifting thing. But those are the three muscles that I've noticed that a lot of people would want, but nobody's willing to work for them. Now, arms and chest, you know, people, you know, guys at least, they gonna work that. If they don't work, then else. Arms and chest. Arms is number one. That's the top muscle. Everybody gonna work them arms. They want arms. They want big arms, and that's a mandate for them. That's their goal in life. Is big arms. You know. I can't really say that the chest is a highly sought after thing. I think men tend to go toward that bench press, and the size of the chest end up being an after effect of them desiring to have heavier and heavier bench presses. So that's just my thought process on it. You know, this weightlifting thing have always been interesting to me, because not because of the physical aspects of lifting weights and trying to develop A, B, C, and D. You know, everything in weightlifting is based upon your mental toughness. You know, your ability to constantly do the same things to develop certain things on your body. And you have to have a focused mind, you know, on your own to develop a body that you projecting yourself to look like. You know, you just got to have a mental toughness that will allow you to be able to do that. If you're one of those type of people that you always have to work out with somebody, if you ever lose that workout partner, then your training is going to suffer. It's going to go downhill. It's going to be done, because when they stop, you stop. And I always advocated, you know, individuals. Weightlifting is an individual thing, you know, and I'm not talking about just bodybuilding. I get tired of folks just constantly putting weightlifting as far as bodybuilding. And weightlifting is more than just bodybuilding. It's health. It's overall body health and strength. You know, not everybody lifting weights is trying to be a bodybuilder. You know, let's get that straight now. Not everybody lifting weights is trying to be a bodybuilder. That's the God knows truth. But in saying that, it is a mandatory thing that you get your mind right first, because that's where everything starts from. Your mindset, how you perceive yourself, looking later on. Your mindset. You got to get your mindset right when it comes down to weights. And if you're one of those that desire your legs to look a certain kind of way, you know, quit looking at everybody else that have them and start working on you. You know, I mean, you looking at these different people that have these different body parts, lusting after the fact that you want those body parts, but then not having the mental toughness to go in the gym and do what it takes to develop those parts. You know, and nothing in training is difficult. You know, either you're gonna do it or you're not gonna do it. It's pretty simple. It don't take rocket science to build your body up to look a certain way. It don't take rocket science for that. You don't have to have science. You just have to know what exercises do what, and that's it. And you'll pretty much be able to do what you got to do. You know, if you just know the basics of training, you can develop your body. You know, like I said, not necessarily talking about the bodybuilding stuff, just everyday people. You know, you just got to have that mental toughness to get your body to where you want it at. Anyway, that's what I wanted to talk to y'all about. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel. And again, I'll be talking to you later. And one thing I can tell you, it is hot out here.